Hey guys, today's the day the bed has to go in. We're leaving tomorrow. Carol's busy inside packing up all the things that we need for this trip. And luckily yesterday we thought about the weather today, which was supposed to be raining all day. Luckily there's a big break in the weather. This morning was crazy thunderstorms and everything, and I was just so worried that we weren't going to get the bed in and we're just going to be ending up sleeping on the floor for this trip. So what we did was we quickly got the plywood out, cut it to size, put some ventilation holes in it, painted it, sealed it with like a primer that will help with mold and mildew and stuff like that, resistant. And so it is, I believe it's 80 inches across by 70 inches, 70 inches across, because the bed's going to go that way, our head's going to be there, feet there. So it's 80 inches this way, I think 70 inches this way, and I'll give you the exact measurements when we start to do this. But it's all set to go in. Now we just need to put the braces across. I got 4 of these mid beams that are extendable to whatever length we need it to be, and that's going to hold up the plywood. But we need to mount these 2x8s to the wall, but we also want to store my bike underneath, and there's my bike there. And I think I'm gonna have to possibly take the seat off, and then the front wheel is supposed to come off and then hook in. I bought like a special carrier that you're supposed to put your forks into and then lock it down, and that keeps your bike nice and safe and doesn't topple or get bumped around. We were gonna kind of put it in this spot, but the gizmo that I bought doesn't fit those spokes. This is called a through axle, so we'll have to figure that out as we go. Look at that, the sun is poking through, nice. All right, so I got as much tools as I think I need. Again, we're gonna have to figure out the height on which we want to put these support beams. This is the riv nut tool that I was telling you about. These are the riv nuts. I needed 12. We only have 10, so I'm gonna make the best out of it. And then we have these bolts that will go through the wood. I got washers. The bolt will go through the wood into the riv nut, which will be embedded into the wall. They did have, whoever owned this before me, they actually did some riv nuts here. Here's one here. So basically, if you can't reach behind to put a washer and a nut, then you put a riv nut in, and it's an automotive thing. So when I take that front wheel off, the bike will go right down to the ground, really like probably about this height. But we have to see about, I might have to mark my seat so I can push my seat down and then raise it up when I go for a bike ride when we get to BC. Okay, first things first, let's see what the height is and see where we need to put this beam. Before we do that, Carol reminded me we had this around the corner, and this was on here when we first bought the van. That was fit there when it sat right down on the ground. So we're gonna actually reutilize this, or reuse this, and I'm gonna screw this down, and it'll be one nice solid step. So like I said, we bought those mid beams from IKEA, and if you buy the whole kit, the beam, the bed frame, and the liner kind of thing, the bed frame actually has the 2 brackets. I went online to try and find those brackets that are specially made for those, and there are like people online selling them anywhere from $9, but it would take a month or 2 to get here, to $48 for 2 on Amazon. So we had to come up with another idea. So at Rona yesterday, I went there and I showed him my dilemma, and he came up with these. They're like $2 a piece, and it's just a plate that you would put on 2 pieces of wood that join, and you just screw as many screws as you want in it to help hold it all together and keep it aligned. So of course it's flat. I need it to be like this shape. So what I thought about one morning, I woke up at 6 o'clock in the morning, which is kind of funny, and started working on the van in my brain. And so what I did was I put a screwdriver underneath it like this on a piece of wood, and then hit it with a hammer here, and now that fits perfectly into the mid beams. So that will be on the wall, and then that will be able to hook right onto like that. Perfect. So again, this is a through axle. So you just unscrew. Once it's out, you pull your axle out. Wheel comes off. And then I want my bike to be mounted into the floor. So there'll be a clamp just like that. So, and I really don't know if we want the bed, Carol's here now, I don't really know if we want the bed that high. I think that's way too high. Or is it? What do you think?
We'd have to have a ladder to get up.
We don't have to jump. If I could knock down my seat, but again, once this kind of bike, you really don't want to mess around with the seat all the time. It'd be nice if I could just take the seat off as opposed to dropping it down. There's actually a battery in here that's controlling all my gears. I'm gonna have to think about it. So we figured out that the top of the wood should come to basically the bottom of this, so that will be on both sides. And then what we need to do is measure from the ground up. You don't use a level when you're in a van because the van might be on a crooked driveway. The van is never going to be level. So you've got to measure up from the bottom. Let's see where that top of this one is, because that's going to be our, right there, 37. So what we're going to do is we're going to put it to that spot, and then Carol's going to help me level it by measuring up from just behind the wheel well. So that's going to go right there. So measure that again. So now come over to here, or actually go farther, go to the other side of this beam. And so that needs to come down.
This needs to come down a smidge.
There.
Okay, now mark that one.
Sorry.
Right along there, yeah. Okay. Now come over here quickly one more time and measure it again.
Woo!
Okay, mark this. Up or down? Is it perfect or not?
It's perfect now.
Okay, so we go. 37 this side. Now I'm going to, I guess we should have marked on the wood where exactly that beam is. And I'm going to try to keep the bolts nice and separated by a lot. I'm going to put 3 here, 2 at the back, and then when we get back from our travels, I'll put another one in there for extra security, because the people we've watched do 3, so 6 per beam, 6 on this side, but we only have 10, so it's going to have to be 5 and 5. The other 2 thing, we've seen a lot of people use step drill bits, but because we watched a guy who used a regular drill bit to make these holes for the riv nuts, you got to make your hole in the metal first, then you use the riv nut and the riv nut gun to get the riv nut in there. One guy used a drill bit and it messed up the hole. I'm not sure if he was using a wood drill bit or he was using an old drill bit, but this should do it fine. Just in case it doesn't do it fine, I did buy these step bits, and they were only like $15, whereas I saw one, I'm not sure why, but it was like $70. Let me know in the comments below why a step drill bit would be $70. All right, we're going to utilize the horses to hold the wood in place, because I want to drill right through the wood into the metal. So once again, Carol came up with a brilliant idea. We tried putting the workhorses there and try to use the quick grips, but none of that was working very well. And Carol's like, why don't we brace it up with some wood? So we grabbed a couple pieces of wood that we used yesterday. And what we're going to do is I'm going to hold it up, and then Carol's going to grab a piece of wood. Yeah, that's just going to stop it from going down anymore.
Okay.
Right, and the other one's going to go over here. So push hard. Again, it's just tacking it up and holding it. Now we can get the other one. Okay. So now we've got our height. We don't have to worry about holding it up. So pass me the other drill, please. Okay, now hold this against the wall. I'm going to put 3 in here. One. Just pull it away just for a second. I just want to see how good the hole is. Oh yeah. So we're really close. The tail lights are here, but when I pulled it out, all the stuff came out. I thought I hit like electrical wire and stuff, and I thought we just screwed something up big time. But it's the actual insulation that we put in there yesterday.
Oh, well, we're hoping.
So now, first time ever using a riv nut tool. This will be interesting. So you get your riv nut tool, screw on your riv nut. I'm going to put it into the hole, and when I start to press like this, it compresses this and makes it into like a mushroom cap. That it said keep it straight.
Yeah, but
Look at this.
there's got to be something about
That's supposed to be a... Oh, this is going to be bigger. Dang nabbit. Alright, so I used the wrong drill head. So now I probably have to use the step drill to make it bigger. This is meant for a 5/16 bolt, but the actual sheath size is bigger than that. So I need to bump up the hole size because that definitely isn't going to fit. Okay, there's our riv nut. There's our step drill. And when I put the step drill in, it's 1, 2. I'm gonna go one more, and then we'll see. It does say it does have measurements on here, but I don't know exactly what the measurement of this thing is. Again, I'm not a tradesman, so I don't know these things. Nope. I'm going. That was one step, 2 step, 3 step, one more. There we go. 4 steps. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2. You can smell the metal burning. Okay, so since I have that there and you have you right here, let's do a riv nut. Screw your riv nut on. I'm gonna have to get the vacuum out.
Yeah.
And then we put that in there. And then as I pull this back, it's supposed to.
Ta-da!
I watched one guy, he undid it this way, and he was moving the whole thing to try and unscrew it. Unbelievable.
Yay!
Let's throw another one in because I'm all excited now. My first riv nut.
Good job.
So anybody out there who's used a riv nut, let me know. I guess this is my tension on how much of a mushroom I need in there. And at the moment I've got it at like, it's like 0 to 10. And I've got it on 1, 2, 3.5, maybe 4. And again, the main thing is to keep it level. A couple I watched that did this, they actually practiced on a piece of metal that they cut out of the roof, and they just clamped it down and they drilled through to show what that did and to show how this thing works. So that was super helpful, because I've seen people do this and it seems much harder than what I'm doing. So I'm not sure if I should be like screwing this in more. Anyway.
I guess we'll find out.
Guess we'll find out when we're sleeping, when we fall out of bed. Next thing is, I hope this thing fits in that area. Or we have to make it bigger. Oh, this thing's in our way. Shit. There's always something. So this is a torque.
I know where the torque is.
Now you like me, no matter what job you do, it's always some problem. There's always a problem. Either you don't have the right tool or there's a bracket in the way. I'll try and do this. Just trying to see if this can come out more or something funky, something different than everybody else's. So I made a little bit of an adjustment here to kind of mushroom it a bit more. Again, the weather was crazy earlier. Now I'm sweating like crazy with the sun.
Good job.
I try. So we are going to attempt to put, this is going to hold that. Then we're going to grab our bolt and washer. Thank you. So that's just going to go in there. I'm going to start to screw that in. Okay, pull this away. Uh-oh. How is that possible?
Because it's not against the wall.
Two more problems. The riv nuts were not tight enough, so when I started screwing in, when I got to this thing, it just started to spin the riv nuts. And also these are way too long. As you can see, it goes through the wood, and then the riv nuts kind of ends there. So I'm gonna have to get shorter and then have more thread so that we can bite into it. So I gotta go back into town quickly and get 12 more of these. Proper nuts, bolts. There we go, 2-inch. Just what the doctor ordered. Let's see if we can put this wall back together. All done and secure. Now it's time to do the other side. Now we need to put these plates on the wall which will hold the beams. So this is, again, this is the size of the plate. Come down here. The plate was like this, and I needed to put a notch in it like this. So try to get down really like same level. And you can see the crease that I've created in that, and how I did that was with a hammer and a screwdriver. I just put the screwdriver in a spot where I know it's going to be bent. Just like that, and then I just hit it, and I just did the same thing the other side. And there we have the bent area, and that will hopefully put our beams in. If it doesn't, I'll make it a little bit bigger, but it should work perfectly fine. I'll get the rest done.
Sorry. You're just telling me.
Now, how many do I have? There's 8 altogether. 6 more to do, and then we can put them on the walls. Okay, hold it like that. Just hold it flat. Okay, lift it up for a second. Okay, right there.
that how you do it?
Yep. All those are done. Now we just need to space them apart accordingly, and then we will screw them to the wall and then hang our beams. Beams are in. There's the brackets that we manufactured to hold our mid beams on, and we got one piece of plywood in here to see the length. I should have made these a little bit longer, but anyway, we'll have to see what we're gonna do. So let's get this plywood in. Okay. Okay, so this is going to be, we're not sure exactly. I'm going to just pull it all the way inside.
Yeah.
So I can shut this door, and then we'll measure it from that. So we have to make a notch here for now, so that this goes out a bit further, and possibly notch out our corners, because our beams are a little bit too far away from the back, and we can utilize some more space by pushing the bed that way, or at least the plywood that way. So I'm gonna have to figure out how to do that. Right there. Let's give me some. Come around. Slide it into place.
Nice.
That's that. We'll shut this.
Great job.
Okay. We're not exactly sure what's going to go here. Again, this might get built out a bit with a wall or some type of a covering for this door. This might also be a window, so we don't know exactly how far we should come with this. So now we're going to notch out these, but I'll have to
then you'll have
notch
to
out that.
out too, then.
So either, I think the best bet is to put this down, put it in place, and then scribe along there, cut it lengthwise,
Yeah.
and then we'll tack it down into the wood, and that's it for now, because that's all we have time for. We got to put the bed on here, we got to get things organized. It is 8 o'clock. I don't know what time we started this, and we still haven't figured out if my bike's going to fit in here. I don't think it will. I think I'm going to have to drop the seat, which is fine. Can you come here for a quick second? I just want to see what's going to happen here. Again, I'll be taking off my wheel. Through axle. Oh, see, look at that. If I could
just tip it.
stupid Oh man, just that one beam. So I could tip it sideways. Carol is the most clever woman in the world. Look at that. So this other things just can't be in the way when I put it in. So it's going to go in, and then I'm going to buy, hopefully between here and Calgary, I'll be able to buy the, I might have to take my pedals off too, because this is annoying. So when you go backwards. Right, okay. So this is technically where I want it to be, right about there. Carol, you nailed it. I was thinking that it'd have to go in straight, but tipping it in sideways, we could have gone down a little bit too, if we need more room in the future. Cool. So there'll be a big clamp here. So this will actually probably be up just a little bit higher, and then a through, I put my own through axle through the lock, and then it just sits here, and it's safe, and it won't move around. Sometimes you can buy a little strap to hold the back wheel down, so it's not bouncing around. But aces, we've got contact, and now let's tip it out like Carol told me, because I'm not smart enough to know these things. Again, I was just fully expecting it to go straight in. Score that, or mark it, take down, I'm guessing the longer piece, and we'll cut that, trim this piece off, and then they should sit down together. Cool.
Cool.
Let me do this side, then I'll throw you this. I just want to make sure that this is right up against that wall. This is right up against that wall. Make sure they're both against the wall. Push, and then pull this one. Right, okay. Oh boy, did I do it right? It's always like, is it gonna work? Yay! So we'll tack it down with some screws, not too many, just to hold it down for this trip. And then, like I said, when we come back, we'll do you want to get the mattress?
Sure.
Okay, Carol, you have the honors.
Okay, I hope it's a good bed.
I hope it's a good bed too.
Okay. It's going to be one of those ones that spring open.
It's going to explode.
Yeah.
This is a 4-inch queen, what do they call it? A topper.
I don't know how this is.
It's going to roll right out the back door, right?
Yeah.
Okay, hang on.
Okay.
Well, there you go. So now we have to wait for it to hopefully expand a little bit more than that. Looks good. Done. Well, there you go, guys. That is installing the bed in our 2017 Sprinter. A lot of adjustments, a lot of little mistakes here and there, and that probably took us the most time. When one thing went wrong, it led to a whole bunch of other things going wrong, but we did it. We mastered it. We've got a bed for the next 2 weeks as we travel out west, so I'm extremely happy that it's finally done. Now we got to pack up all of our stuff, get it in here, because we're leaving tomorrow morning, and you guys can come with us. So thanks once again for all your support. Bye, guys.
Bye.